Today you will be learning about roots and affixes. To start off, you will need these 3 sheets of paper glued into your literacy notebook. Pause the video here so you can get your notebook set up. In this video, you will learn how to use Greek and Latin affixes and roots as clues to the meaning of words. To start off, let's talk about what an affix is. Affixes are a letter or group of letters added to a word to change the word's meaning. Affixes includes prefixes and suffixes. We'll talk more about what a prefix and a suffix is later in the video. To start with, we are going to begin with prefixes. A prefix is a word part added to the beginning of a root word. So for example, the word discomfort, dis is the prefix and comfort is the root word. Or for another example, misunderstand. Miss is the prefix and understand is the root word. In your literacy notebook, open up to the chart that is titled Common Prefixes. We are going to be writing down some examples of prefixes, what their meanings are, and different words that show that prefix and the meaning. So to start with, we are going to begin with the prefix dis. The prefix dis means opposite or not. So for example, the word dishonest means not honest. Now we are going to look at the prefix re. Re means again. So for example, rewrite means write again. Next is the prefix un. That means not. So the example unkind means not kind. Next we are going to look at the prefix pre. It means before. So for example, preview is something that you get to see before seeing the whole thing. Like a trailer for a movie is a preview for that movie. Or reading a summary of a book can preview what that book will be about. You also see the prefix pre in the word prefix. A prefix is an affix that comes before the word, prefix. Next, let's look at another prefix, miss. It means wrong. So for example, if you misunderstand something, it means that your understanding is wrong. Another common word with the prefix miss is misspell, means that you've spelled a word wrong. Next, let's look at the prefix uni. It means one. So for example, unicycle means a type of writing device with one wheel. Now let's look at the prefix co. Co means together or with. So for example, the word cooperate means to operate or work with someone or together with a group of people. Lastly, let's look at the prefix trans. It can mean across or beyond. So for example, the word transform means that it formed beyond what it was to something different. Pause the video here if you need to finish writing these common prefixes. Now we are going to begin looking at suffixes. So a prefix was an addition to the beginning of the word. A suffix is an addition to the end of the word. The definition for suffix is a word part added to the end of a root word. Now let's take some time to look at a few common suffixes. You need to go to the chart in your literacy notebook labeled Common Suffixes. It's right below the chart that we just filled in, labeled Common Prefixes. The first one we are going to look at is able or able. It means capable. Capable means you are able to do something. So, for example, the word likable means you are capable of being liked, or you're able to be liked by other people. Next, we are going to look at the suffix less. It means without. So for example, the word worthless means something that is without worth. Or in other words, something that doesn't have a lot of value. The next suffix we're going to look at is full. It means full of. For example, the word beautiful means that it's full of beauty. The next suffix is ness. It means a state of, or like something is that way. So for example, goodness means that that object is good. Now let's look at the suffix er. The suffix er has two different meanings, more and one who does. So let's look at an example for the meaning more. Bigger means more big than something else. That's different than in the word teacher, which is using an example from a meaning one who does. A teacher is someone who teaches. Lastly, let's look at the suffix og. It means the study of. So for example, biology is the study of a life. Pause the video here so you can finish copying this chart. Now that you know a little bit more about affixes, let's start to talk about what a root word is. A root word is a word or word element, that means a small part of the word, from which other words are formed by adding affixes. In your literacy notebook, you now need to open up to the chart that is labeled Common Roots. This chart is on the page with the 6 pictures on it. The first word we are going to start with is astro. As you might be able to tell by the picture above, astro means star. So for example, an astronaut is somebody who travels to the stars. Next, the root word geo. Geo means earth, and not just earth like the planet, but earth like the ground. So geography is the study of the earth, how it looks, where is the water at, where is the land at, where are there mountains, things like that. Next, let's look at the root word bio. It means life. So for example, biology is the study of life. Now let's look at the root word graph. As you can see above, the picture is of a pencil. So the meaning of graph is actually write or draw. That's the root meaning. So for example, an autograph is somebody who writes their own signature. Next is the root word scope. A scope is a tool for seeing. So for example, a microscope is used to see small things that we would not be able to see without the use of this tool. Next is the word tele, which means far away. So for example, a telephone is used to talk with someone who is far away from you. Now let's look at the word photo. It means light. So for example, the word photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is how plants get their own food. They do that by using light from the sun. Lastly, let's look at the root word port. It means to carry. So for example, the word transport means to carry something from one place to the next. Pause the video here so you can finish copying this down. For this next part, you will need to get a separate sheet of paper that you will turn into the literacy bin. Don't forget to put your name on this sheet of paper. On the screen, you now see 7 sentences. Each sentence has one word bolded. It is your job to try and figure out what that word means. You can use what you know about roots and affixes, but also you can use what you know about the sentences. You may also use a dictionary to help you try to figure out what the meaning of each of these words are. Pause the video here so you can take time to work on these 7 words.